Part 17. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 161. A terrifying aura erupted from Xiaoxian. 100,000 years of signing and practicing have brought his cultivation level to the Taoist stage. There is only one step away from the quasi-emperor. 100 years is enough, Xiaoxian was very confident. 100 years is enough time for him to prepare. Then he entered the system and exchanged a realm-breaking golden elixir to help break through. At the same time, Xiao had already walked out of the valley. Yuling hurriedly stepped forward. Xiao, how's it going? Has your ancestor promised to take action? Xiao nodded and shook his head, making Yuling very confused. What do you mean by nodding and shaking your head? Is he going to take action or not? The ancestor promised to take action, but will not show up. How can your ancestor take action if he doesn't come forward? Can't you even solve him? Yuling made a sound in surprise, with a trace of disappointment on her face. My ancestor gave me a treasure. With this treasure, the family's crisis will be resolved. Xiao laughed when he saw Yuling being so amused by him. Only then did Yuling realize that this guy was teasing her. Yuling couldn't help but shudder when she thought of that white-clothed figure. The treasure given by such a strong man will definitely solve the family crisis. Then the two of them stepped onto the ark and left directly. Just as the two left, several figures appeared where they were standing. Wenjian Valley has been here for 100,000 years, and you and I are aware of the mystery and unknowns in it. But those who received feedback from the master of Wenjian Valley all became the best among cultivators. Yes, that's just the feedback, let alone the fact that these two women entered the valley to meet the valley owner. It can be seen from their words that they have obtained the treasure of the valley master. If we can get this treasure, you and I are about to reach this level of cultivation, so it's not a waste of resources. Speaking of this, several people's eyes showed strong greed and murderous intent. The aura that erupts from their bodies is unique to saints, which shows that their cultivation level is not low. But this way we can be considered enemies of the master of Wenjian Valley. Ask the owner of the Sword Valley. This section is our area. We just need to leave here. Besides, since ancient times, treasures belong to those who can possess them. These two girls are not qualified to possess them. You're right. Let's chase him quickly. Then several people looked at each other, with strong murderous intent in their eyes. Then he chased in the direction where Xiao and Yuling left. But behind them, a giant bird with a fiery red body appeared. At this time, he was staring coldly at the backs of several people leaving. Just when they were about to catch up with Xiao, the giant bird suddenly appeared in front of them. Several people's expressions changed drastically when they saw this, Dao Tai realm. The moment they saw Bifang, their first reaction was to run away. However, before they could react, Bifang's cry had already locked their bodies. Then a mouthful of fire was ejected, and after the flames dissipated, the figures of those people no longer existed. Bifang then followed Xiao Zioxio's ark, protecting their safety in the dark. The moment he saw the Xiao family's residence, Fu Fang did not choose to show up. At this time, the Xiao family is on the cusp of the storm. If the crisis in the Xiao family is not resolved, it will not be able to show up. Otherwise it will only cause more trouble for them, so after confirming that Xiao entered the Xiao family safely. For example, he turned around and left and returned to Wenjian Valley. At this time, in the Xiao family, Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Jiangzin, Xiao Zhangtian, and Xiao Jiamian were discussing the Ziyun fire sect with the 9 elders. Today, their cultivation realm has reached the other side realm, although it took hundreds of thousands of years. But even Xiao Xian would not have been able to break through so quickly without the help of the system. This shows how talented Xiao Tianyun and others are. Xiao Jianfeng hammered the table in annoyance, his face full of anger. The Ziyun fire sect's actions are so hateful. They are so lawless just because their clan is so powerful. Xiao Zhangtian shook his head. The Ziyun fire sect does not rely on their clan power. It's the Long family behind them, and the Long family is the capital for their wanton behavior. Xiao Tianyun nodded. If it was just a mere Ziyun fire sect, I would have killed him long ago. What does the Supreme Realm mean? Their destruction is just a matter of waving the hand. Xiao Tianyun's domineering words did not arouse anyone's doubts. Even if he is just a cultivator in the other side realm. This shows how powerful he is. Jamal Xiao also echoed, judging from Ziyun fire sect's past behavior. Those who are really targeting us are the Long family behind them. Xiao Jianfeng was shocked when he heard this. Long family. Yes, Xiao Jiangxin nodded lightly. Yes, although our Xiao family has developed in a low-key manner over the past 100,000 years. But the development speed is too fast, so it has attracted the covetousness of many other forces, and the Long family is one of them. Capturing Xiao Yiyi is just a warning they sent to us. In the past 100,000 years, although the Xiao family has been developing in a low-key manner, it is because it has developed so well. Prodigious children in the family appear frequently, and outstanding figures appear in various star fields. Even though they are constantly shrinking their strength, they still attract the attention of many powerful forces. Yes, our appearance has touched the cake of some powerful forces. This time is also the battle for our Xiao family to turn around. Xiao Tianyun stood up and looked somewhere intently. If we choose to retreat, those powerful forces will use more other means to deal with us. Therefore, no matter how powerful the Long family is, we must go, otherwise the Xiao family will face more than just the Long family. Xiao Jiangxin also stood up after hearing this. Yes, in that case, we might as well come directly to the door. Yes, I will not offend others unless they offend me. If someone offends me, I will punish them. Xiao Zhangtian stood up with a determined look. Over the years, they have chosen to be patient for the sake of their family, but that doesn't mean they really have no temper. Xiao Jianfeng also knew that this was the only way. This world was about bullying. If you choose to retreat this time, you will never stand up straight again. When do you plan to set off? Xiao Jiangxin asked Xiao Tianyun directly. Since he made such bold words, it proved that the other party no longer wanted to sit back and wait for death. As his life and death friend, he naturally would not choose to watch. Let's go immediately, Xiao Tianyun replied tenaciously. I have killed many powerful men in the Supreme Realm. Now it's time to compete with cultivators in the Tianzun realm to see what kind of strength they have. Count me in. Xiao Jiangxin stood up and looked at Xiao Tianyun with a smile. Don't just worry about yourself. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 162. The two looked at each other and saw the killing intent in each other's eyes. 100,000 years of getting along, plus facing countless life and death moments. The two have already developed a silent tacit understanding, and they can know each other's meaning without having to speak. Then the two of them jumped into the air and headed towards the Ziyun fire sect. Xiao Zhangtian and Jamal Xiao stayed to take charge of the Xiao family. At the same time, the Ziyun fire sect has put on lanterns and colorful decorations, with red lanterns hanging high and the doors and courtyards bustling with activity. Countless forces also sent congratulatory gifts on this day. As the bride-to-be, Xiao Yiyi sat in the room with an indifferent expression and allowed herself to be manipulated. It was obvious that she had been controlled by someone and had lost even her basic consciousness. At this moment, the Ziyun fire sect kept hearing the shouts of the ceremony officials. The ancient Chen family of the North Star came to congratulate us and gave us 2,000 golden fire cloud arrows and 100,000 spiritual crystals. The Shangguan family in the Nanshan Star territory came to congratulate you with gifts. They gave you 2,000-year-old extremely cold snow lotus fruits and 200,000 spiritual crystals. The Murong family of Teku Sing Chen came to congratulate me and give me a drop of Deotai realm essence and blood. 500,000 spiritual crystals. The singer was smiling brightly outside the door, shouting out the congratulatory gifts sent by the major forces. The Ziyun fire sect was also very lively and busy. However, at this moment, the Changli man's voice changed unusually. The Xiao family sent 5,000 heads of the Ziyun fire sect as a congratulatory gift. After this shout came out, the Ziyun fire sect instantly became quiet. Countless eyes gathered at the door, looking at Xiao Tianyun and Xiao Tianyun in great surprise. At this moment, the singer looked at Xiao Tianyun with a trembling look on his face. But before he could say his plea for mercy, he felt a warm feeling in his throat. Immediately afterwards, his head was separated from his body, and the blood spurted out and splashed on the gifts. Before everyone could react from their shock, Xiao Tianyun instantly jumped into the air. A punch landed on the Ziyun fire sect's gate, in front of everyone's surprised eyes. The door was completely shattered by this punch. The sect gate is the face of a sect. Xiao Tianyun smashed the door of Ziyun fire sect, which was undoubtedly a slap in the face. Even though the senior officials of Ziyun fire sect did not take them seriously. At this moment, he was also angry because Xiao Tianyun smashed the sect's gate. In an instant, countless terrifying auras erupted within the Ziyun fire sect. One of the core elders appeared directly in front of Xiao Tianyun. I saw him staring at Xiao Tianyun and others with a livid face, looking like he was going to call for punishment. Xiao Tianyun, today is a day of great joy for my son, the holy son of Ziyun fire section. You come to congratulate us and we welcome you. But what does it mean for you to break the door of our sect? However, before he could react, he saw a sharp sword light coming from the sky. The sword light came directly towards the core elder to suppress it. In just one breath, the elder's head and head were separated, and his blood splashed directly on the broken sect door. Everyone was even more shocked when they saw this, and at the same time, the expressions on Xiao Jiangxin's face became extremely solemn. The opponent is obviously only at the 4th level of the Venerable Realm, but he is able to kill the strong men in the late Venerable stage. This strength is really terrifying. You must know that the cultivator's cultivation realm has reached an advanced stage. Even if the difference is only a small level, it is still an insurmountable gap. Xiao Jiangxin ignored everyone's surprised looks, his eyes filled with murderous intent. The leader of Ziyun fire sect immediately exploded with momentum, and the pressure of a powerful man in the supreme realm instantly suppressed the scene. Xiao Tianyun, today is a happy day for you and my family, but you kill my sect disciples first. Later, he destroyed the gate of my sect and slaughtered my elders. If I don't give an explanation, we will be considered as in-laws. Today, the Japanese sect master will not let you go easily. Otherwise, I cannot give an explanation to my sect disciples. When Xiao Tianyun heard this, he laughed coldly. In-laws. My Xiao family has never recognized this marriage. Is a mere Ziyun fire sect worthy of being my in-laws of the Xiao family? It's so ridiculous. I don't know what kind of marriage you are talking about. What kind of happy event is this? Everyone suddenly gasped. Xiao Tianyun actually dared to say such wild words in front of a powerful person in the supreme realm. It's simply asking for death. Presumptuous. The leader of the Ziyun fire sect instantly burst out with the coercion of a powerful person in the supreme realm. He looked like he was going to kill Xiao Tianyun on the spot. I saw him throwing a punch in the air, and the endless punch pressure directly crushed him. Everyone was shocked by this momentum, and some couldn't even bear the remaining power. However, Xiao Tianyun remained calm and looked at the master of Ziyun fire sect calmly. I saw him move slightly, and a terrifying desolate aura spread directly to the surroundings. The move of the leader of the Zeun fire sect was also directly broken by this momentum. The endless momentum quickly surrounded the leader of the Zeun fire sect. Immediately afterwards, a huge palm appeared in the air. The giant palm carried a desolate aura and landed directly on him. Suddenly, the air was filled with a thick smell of blood. A powerful man in the supreme realm fell like this in front of everyone. The onlookers did not expect that Xiao Tianyun actually had the ability to kill a powerful person in the supreme realm. Even the people from the Long family who were hiding in Zeun fire sect showed a look of astonishment. It can be seen that Xiao Tianyun's strength is beyond their expectations. Xiao Tianyun looked at the senior officials of Zeun fire sect with an indifferent expression. Do you still want to hide? When people from the Long family heard Xiao Tianyun's words, they naturally knew that the other party had seen through their intentions. Therefore, he no longer concealed his appearance and showed up directly. As a venerable, he has the strength to kill the supreme realm. This kind of strength is really unbelievable. A member of the Long family appeared in front of Xiao Tianyun. Although his words were compliments, there was a strong murderous intention hidden in them. If you don't have any strength, how can you expose your conspiracy? Xiao Tianyun's expression was calm, and he did not feel any timidity because the other party was in the Tianzun realm. It seems that the rise of the Xiao family includes not only those treasures but also real power like you. Tianzun showed a sinister smile, and his aquiline nose trembled with his smile. Originally I just wanted to take those treasures, but your strength made me change my mind. Not only will the most precious treasure belong to us, but you will also die in our hands. Immediately afterwards, Tianzunjing directly sacrificed a long knife. The illusory sword shadows continuously emit bursts of sword sounds, which makes people feel shocked. Seeing this, the onlookers immediately retreated, fearing that they would be hurt by the shadow of the knife. Facing this sword, Xiao Tianyun looked slightly solemn, and then he used the grass character formula of Huangtian Emperor. Coupled with the Quafuzuri Kung Fu that he understood, the two collided. The ground actually trembled violently, and then a huge mushroom cloud erupted in the sky. As the mushroom cloud dispersed, the two figures also appeared in front of everyone. Although Xiao Tianyun accepted this move, blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth. Although he has the strength to leapfrog and kill the supreme realm. But in the heavens, the higher the realm, the greater the gap in strength. Even if it is only a small realm, it is an insurmountable gap. Not to mention that there is a difference between the Heavenly Lord and the Venerable One. Venerable? Ha! Your path of cultivation ends here, Tianzun sneered. Xiao Tianyun was still in the Venerable realm, but he was already able to take one of his moves. If he is allowed to continue to grow, he will be his powerful opponent in the future. In this world where the strong survive, any existence that threatens you must disappear. Tianzun waved the long knife in his hand without hesitation and attacked Xiao Tianyun again. As the sword was swung, countless air currents were stirred up. Gradually it became visible to the naked eye, and hurricanes were also driven by the airflow. Both of them are condensed on the long sword and turned into a substantial long sword. Tianzun looked at Xiao Tianyun with a sneer. This sword contained 80% of his strength. No matter how powerful Xiao Tianyun was, he would not be able to take this move. He has only one outcome in the end, death. Xiao Tianyun's face was solemn. After this blow, even if he followed it, he would not be able to fight again. But he can't back down. Just when he was ready to fight with all his strength, Xiao Xiao's voice came from behind. Uncle Xiao Tianyun, continue. Xiao Tianyun subconsciously reached out to catch what Xiao threw over. It was a picture scroll, but it had a very familiar feeling to him. Xiao Tianyun was stunned for a moment, and then cast a grateful look at Xiao. Then he directly put the scrolls in front of Tianzun. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 163. Xiao Xiaoxio's appearance did make Tianzun feel wary for a moment. But when he saw Xiao Xiaoxio's cultivation level, this fear quickly dissipated. What kind of secret treasure can you come up with in the realm of a mere god king? I will let you see how this secret hug turns into waste paper. Then he launched a strong offensive and immediately attacked Xiao Tianyuan. The endless knife shadows turned into fierce attacks, constantly causing waves. The terrifying force of the knife swept over the picture scroll and could tear it into pieces at any time. At this time, that scroll seemed to feel something. The scroll trembled for a while, and the offensive brought by the long knife was instantly dispelled. Even the long sword is not under Tianzun's control. Tianzun's expression changed, and he poured qi into the long knife. However, the weapon in his hand seemed to be fixed and motionless. At this moment, he also knew the strangeness of the picture. Just when he was about to attack again, the scroll slowly unfolded. A figure in white suddenly appeared on the scroll. Just a silhouette from behind makes people feel suffocated by being targeted by a powerful person. Countless people expressed shock at this. Just the back figure in the painting can give people a feeling of soul collision. If the real body were here, wouldn't it be possible to crush the spot? Even the two Tianzun experts from the Long family showed solemn expressions. It's really unreasonable to want to stop me with just a picture scroll. Then the long knife in his hand rotated in the air, turning into a spiral and piercing the control of the scroll. Endless sword power exploded in the air, and murderous intent locked onto the picture. The scroll also exploded with power at this moment. Then powerful sword intent burst out from it. Everyone was shocked by this extreme sword light. A picture scroll can actually emit such sword intent. In the astonished eyes of everyone, the figure in the scroll flashed a golden light. Then a huge sword appeared in the air. The appearance of the long sword instantly resonated with the surrounding weapons. The next moment, the long sword shook. The long sword attack was defeated. At the same time, the remaining power of the sword light split the long sword into two. Then it turned into powder and disappeared into the sky. Everyone couldn't help but be shocked when they saw this scene. This is the weapon in Tianzun's hand. That's a magic weapon. It was shattered just like that. Before everyone could recover from the shock of the weapons being shattered, Tianzun's body took dozens of steps backward. Then spit out a mouthful of blood. Hiss. If the natal magic weapon is destroyed, the holder will also suffer backlash. At this moment, his eyes when looking at the scroll were no longer disdainful and contemptuous. But there is deep fear and fear. Another Tianzun saw this scene. He hurried forward and launched an attack without saying a word. Wait a minute, this scroll is too weird, you have to be careful. The man's expression became a little serious when he heard this. However, they didn't wait for the two of them to react. The giant sword attacked the two of them. I saw that the surrounding space began to twist and deform. The airflow was also driven by the power of the giant sword at this moment. In an instant, the surrounding buildings were shattered. Immediately afterwards, a terrifying scene happened. The twisted space and airflow become the power of the giant sword. It turned into a series of extremely lethal colorless swords and attacked the two people. Under the shocked eyes of countless people, the giant sword, packed with a heaven-destroying aura, instantly forced itself towards the two men. Get away! The two spoke almost in unison. Then they both retreated and simultaneously used their own protective weapons. However, all this was in vain under the attack of the giant sword. I saw that wherever the giant sword crossed, a long chasm was left. The two people's life-protecting magic weapons were also shattered by the giant sword. Then the giant sword, with its unstoppable power, directly forced towards the two of them. The moment the surrounding space returned to normal, the two figures disappeared in front of everyone. Countless people were shocked by the scene in front of them. Two powerful people in the heavenly realm disappeared in front of them just like that. Or was he killed by a painting? This is too scary. Yu Ling'er and Xiao 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 were shocked when they saw this scene. Although they all have a general understanding of Xiao Xian's strength. But I didn't expect that Xiao Xian was so powerful that he could kill two Tianzun realm experts with just one scroll. Xiao Xiao, your ancestor, is really amazing. Yu Ling'er sighed with Xiao 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 with some fear. She couldn't imagine without Xiao 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 by her side. What will happen to her? Xiao Xian's cold and ruthless look flashed in his mind. This also made Yu Ling'er shiver all over. Today's scene, as well as Wen Jiangu and his party. It became an indelible mark in her heart. It also completely changed her habit of being outspoken and unrestrained. Xiao 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 nodded in astonishment upon hearing this. Yes, yes. At this time, she finally understood why Uncle Xiao Tianyun and her father. There are also reasons why the 9 elders, and even other elders, are in awe of the ancestor. Then the golden giant sword turned into countless rays of sword light and fell on the senior officials of Ziyun Fire sect. Just 3 breaths of time. All the senior elders of Ziyun Fire sect were killed by these sword rays. The speed is so fast and the cruelty of the methods is frightening. At this moment, a black figure appeared in front of everyone. When everyone saw this person's appearance clearly, they all gasped. It's actually Long Ao. Long Ao is the leader of the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan. How many of his peers have died at his hands? I never thought that he would even appear in Ziyun Fire section. It seems that the Xiao family really has a treasure. Yes, otherwise the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan would not take action easily. But this time they hit the wall. The Xiao family is not someone to be trifled with. Although the Xiao family has only been established for 100,000 years, their background is terrifying. I don't know who is better, this scroll or Long Ao. Everyone was talking about Long Ao's arrival. The appearance of Long Ao also attracted the attention of other starfield powerhouses. Even if they are not in the same starfield, they can still observe every move here. This is the strength of a truly strong man. At the same time, Long Ao looked at the scroll with an angry expression. Who are you and why do you want to help the Xiao family? I am an elder of the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan. Do you know what will happen if you confront the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan? Although Long Ao didn't show anything on his face, his back was already wet with cold sweat. If he hadn't been able to dodge that sword attack just now, he would have been like those people. They've all become a pile of meat, not to mention corpses. Even the meat can't be distinguished as to which piece is yours. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 164. However, Long Ao's question only received a sword light. Xiao Xian was able to communicate with established sects as early as when he was in the small world. Even with the branches of the heavens facing each other, the word threat does not exist for him at all. I saw that the sword light was wrapped in a desolate atmosphere and carried the charm of the endless avenue. It tore apart the surrounding void, and a destructive aura of death instantly swept through people's hearts. Wherever the giant sword passed, it caused the void to tremble. Long Ao hurriedly used his killing move to resist. However, under the power of this sword, his resistance was undoubtedly like a mantis trying to block a chariot. The sword light directly crushed him, and the terrifying sword brilliance penetrated Long Ao's body. In the stunned eyes of everyone, only the unwillingness and disbelief of Long Ao before his death were left. Tianzun, a godlike existence below the Taoist realm. Just like that, he was killed instantly with a sword. Not only that, all the essence, blood, and heart blood on his body were also taken away by the giant sword. and his body turned into countless fragments and disappeared into the sky. In the astonished eyes of everyone, the giant's sword turned into a golden light and returned to the scroll. At the moment when the scroll is closed, only then did everyone see that the figure was holding a long sword on one side of his back. Xiao Tianyun took the scroll with both hands, looking excited. Xiao Jiangxin also appeared in front of everyone at this time with Xiao Yiyi looking indifferent. When Xiao Tianyun saw this, he knew the reason and immediately led everyone away. After Xiao Tianyun and his party left, the onlookers gathered together, trying to find a few drops of Long Ao's blood. Even just a drop can help them break through. I didn't expect that the Xiao family has such strength. I don't know where the little girl found the treasure, but she can actually kill the heavenly realm in an instant. Maybe it's the Xiao family's own treasure, otherwise the pure-blood Black Dragon clan wouldn't come forward. Having said that, the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan has always been decisive in killing. Long Ao is their elder, I'm afraid they won't give up easily. Although the Xiao family's strength is good, it would not be a good thing for them to mess with the pure-blood Black Dragon clan. Although this scroll is powerful, what if an even more powerful person appears? I'm afraid there's nothing we can do. Yes, the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan doesn't care whether you are right or wrong. If they suffer losses, the other party will die. Not to mention that there are powerful men with the level of emperors in their clan. Xiao family. After Xiao Tianyun and others arranged for Yu Ling-er, he took Xiao to the conference room. Xiao Zhangtian, Xiao Jiamian, and others have already received the news. Wait in the conference room in advance. As soon as he entered the conference room, Xiao Tianyun couldn't wait to ask Xiao. Little girl, you have found the ancestor Xiao Xian. Xiao nodded. Xiao Tianyun, Xiao Jiangxin, and others looked at each other with excitement in their eyes. Great. Take us to him quickly. Xiao then shook his head. The ancestor told you to stay calm for a while. It will take him 100 years to come out of seclusion. As for the reason, the ancestor did not say, but the ancestor said that when he appears in 100 years, no matter what crisis occurs in the family, there is no need to be afraid anymore. Xiao Tianyun frowned slightly when he heard this. Since it is inconvenient for our ancestor to see us, let's go find him. Xiao Zhangtian nodded, yes, we haven't seen him for 100,000 years. Xiao hurriedly interrupted them, wait a minute, the ancestor said before I came. He hasn't seen anyone in the past 100 years. After 100 years, when the time is right, he will take the initiative to show up. Xiao Tianyun and others were silent when they heard this. They knew how powerful Xiao Xian was. But they didn't know that Xiao Xian was already so powerful. Now he can kill powerful people in the Tianzun realm. We can know it from the words Xiao brought back. How fast Xiao Xian's cultivation realm improved. There was silence for a moment. In the end, it was Xiao Zhangtian who broke the news. Since the ancestor said so, let's continue to wait for another 100 years. The veins in Xiao Jiangxin's hand holding the sword burst out, and then slowly dissipated. Yes, we have been waiting for 100,000 years, not less than 100 years. Jamal Xiao and the 9 elders also nodded in agreement. Since the old master has his own difficulties, let's continue to wait. In the following days, the Xiao family began to shrink its strength. Waiting for Xiao Xian's arrival 100 years later. Black Dragon Continent. As the base of the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan. There are dragon clans of various bloodlines here, and human dragons, demon dragons, and dragon monsters are everywhere here. Among them, the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan is the dominant force. The place where he lives is also the place with the best spiritual energy. Halfway up the mountainside of the canyon, a young man was standing at the door very respectfully. Standing in front of him was a young boy, looking at the young man with an arrogant and disdainful expression on his face. You are also lucky. You happen to meet the elder coming out of seclusion. Go in and don't let the elder wait for you. Faced with the teenager's attitude, the young man did not have any dissatisfaction. Just because the opponent is a pure-blooded black dragon, and he is of human dragon blood. If you confront him, there is only one way to die. Then, under the leadership of the young man, the young people entered the palace. The magnificent palace. The colorful lighting magic weapons dazzled the young people. The young man always lowered his head slightly and followed the boy's footsteps. It wasn't until he saw the elder coming out of seclusion that he slowly raised his head and took a look. A descendant of Long Ao, a descendant of the Long family, has met the eighth elder. The young man knelt down and kowtowed to the eighth elder in a respectful and cautious manner. Long Ao, the eighth elder thought about it thoughtfully after hearing this, and then suddenly realized. Oh, it turns out it's him. I didn't expect that after becoming Tianzun, he would become more assertive. Although the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan has pure blood, they have a yin nature. There are countless bloodlines out there, and Long Ao is just one of them. However, because of his excellent talent and strength, the eighth elder took a look at him. Otherwise, with his methods, these bastard bloodlines will be eliminated. After hearing what the eighth elder said, the young man cried loudly. He also informed the eighth elder of the fact that Long Ao was killed. The eighth elder raised his eyebrows thoughtfully when he heard this. The other party knew that Long Ao was my son and killed him. The young man nodded. I beg the eighth elder to avenge my father. The eighth elder smiled slightly and did not continue speaking. However, those who knew his temper knew that the eighth elder was angry at this moment. Then he waved his hand. I know about this, and I won't let your father's death be in vain. There are actually people in this world who know his name and are killing his descendants. How interesting. Good. Very good. Just wait for me for a few years. After I resolve the matter at hand, I will avenge your father. Thank you so much, eighth elder ancestor. The young man was overjoyed and hurriedly thanked him. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 165. At this time, a powerful momentum continued to erupt in the Wenjian Valley. The endless terrifying Daoyun rushed into the sky, instantly attracting the attention of countless people. Where did this Dao rhyme come from? It's so terrifying. It seems like it came from Wenjian Valley. Oh my god, I thought that the master of Wenjian Valley would only be an emperor, but I never thought that he would break through to the Taoist realm. Fortunately, my sect didn't provoke him in the first place, otherwise our sect would have been destroyed. Now the realm of the master of Wenjian Valley has reached the Taoist realm, and he is only one step away from the quasi-emperor. It can be said that there are very few Daotai realms among the heavens. In many star fields, the Daotai realm is the existence of the king of one star field. Not to mention the quasi-emperor, who is almost a godlike controller of that place. He is also the target of countless forces vying for friendship, even if the other party is only a half-step quasi-emperor. Now that Xiao Xian has broken through the Taoist platform, he is one step away from becoming a quasi-emperor. It shows how afraid other forces are of him. At this time, a strange phenomenon came from the top of Wenjian Valley. It attracted countless surprised looks. Above the sky, there was a burst of auspicious clouds. Colorful Dangxia fills the entire sky. Endless Dao rhyme was swaying down, and those with low cultivation levels were oppressed to the ground. In the boundless colorful Dangxia, a man dressed in white appeared in front of everyone. The man in white slowly walked towards the Taoist platform. Colorful Dangxia surrounded him. The endless Taoist rhyme turned into substance around him. The terrifying aura is constantly erupting, even if there is a huge gap between heaven and earth. It can also make people feel the pressure. Under his feet are stairs transformed from his previous cultivation. Every time you walk, you will face a suppression that breaks through the realm. Directly in front of you is a void, shocking shadow of a Taoist platform. I saw the figure in white being transported by the colorful Dangxia. Ignoring the suppression of the realm, I came to the front of the Taoist platform. When the figure in white appeared in front of the Taoist platform, a terrifying aura of desolation was forced out instantly. I saw white hollow chains gradually appearing on the heavenly path. Even if they just glance at it from a distance, everyone can feel the pressure of heaven. However, the man in white remained unmoved, as if this coercion could not suppress him at all. Even just a silhouette can give people a sense of awe. Immediately afterwards, the man in white rose into the air and headed towards the Taoist platform. As he moved, the platform began to shake. The shackles that were originally staying in the air suddenly landed in front of him, locked the man in white tightly inside. At the same time, the platform also shook violently. It seemed to be blocking his leap. Countless people were shocked when they saw this scene. This is the 9 dragon shackles that traps Dao Tai realm. How many people are trapped by this yoke? Once the Dao Tai realm is trapped here, it will take 100,000 years to break through again. Although the Sword Valley Master is powerful, I don't know if he can withstand this time. This 9 dragon shackles is a nightmare for many Taoist realms. At this moment, the 9 dragon shackles suddenly made a sound. Rays of golden light radiated out. Gradually it turned into a cage and fell straight from the sky. Once locked by the cage transformed from the 9 dragon shackles. It means that the Dao Tai realm has failed to be crossed. At this moment, everyone only heard a crisp sound. Then cracks appeared in the 9 dragons shackles cage above the sky. Immediately afterwards, a surprising scene appeared. The 9 dragon shackles cage turned into powder. Gold powder scattered all over the sky. It attracted countless strong men to compete for it. 9 dragon shackles and cages turned into gold powder. It can help cultivators break through the realm, which is better than any genius treasure. When everyone saw this, they were extremely horrified. They didn't even know what the man in white had done. The 9 dragon shackles and cage turned into gold powder. This is incredible. I have never seen someone destroy the cage without doing anything. The strength of the Master of the Sword Valley is really terrifying. Amidst the horror of the crowd, Xiao Xian directly crossed the Taoist platform. Everyone gasped. Then a black armored dragon tens of thousands of feet long appeared in front of everyone. Even if it was just a shadow, everyone could feel the pressure. It turned out to be the phantom of the black armored dragon. It was an ancient phantom. The Jialin Long Dragon can only be caused by the peerless Tian Xiao. I didn't expect the rumors to be true. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. If you ask this question, the Master of the Sword Valley and the young Emperor Mozi are on par. That's not necessarily true. Not everyone can resist this armored dragon. After all, this is an ancient shadow. And the last time the armored dragon appeared, it was the young demon king. Just when everyone was discussing the terror of Jialin Changlong, Xiao Xian looked at the shadow coldly, and then stretched out a hand. Jialin Changlong felt that he was being despised. Then he looked up to the sky and roared, and endless black thunder and lightning shook the sky. He pressed towards Xiao Xian with terrifying murderous intent. Facing this blow, Xiao Xian remained unmoved at all. I saw the hand move slowly. A golden light appeared in the sky. Immediately afterwards, they met the Jialin Long Dragon. The boundless sword energy is constantly rioting in the sky. Even the surrounding thunder and lightning power was absorbed by the sword energy. When Xiao Xian made his first breakthrough, he absorbed Tianli. Although the thunder and lightning in the heavens are different from the thunder and lightning in the small world, but in essence they are not much different, not to mention that Xiao Xian also has Tianyu Xianfeng sword art. The sword energy instantly broke through the sky and faced the phantom of the armored dragon. The Jialan Changlong swung its tail disdainfully, not paying attention to Xiao Xian's attack at all. Then he swung the dragon's tail, driving a tornado to meet the sword light. He swallowed it directly into his belly, and then looked at Xiao Xian provocatively, half smiling but not smiling. At this moment, Jialan Changlong felt that something was constantly colliding in his belly. Even the body seemed to have cracks, emitting a golden light. This change made the power of thunder in his body continue to rage outwards. The armored dragon kept roaring in pain. Then its body was exposed to the astonished gazes of everyone. Slowly shattered, then turned into little stars and disappeared into the sky. Everyone looked at the scene and couldn't help but look shocked. The afterimage of the ancient dragon was shattered by Xiao Xian like this. Still the power of one finger. But the sky is no longer suppressed by the 9 dragon shackles and Taoist platform. The spectacular scene of colorful clouds was once again restored. Xiao Xian took a big step and entered the Taoist platform. Right now, a Taoist charm with an ancient aura instantly blessed him. The invisible Tao Yun surrounded him, constantly transforming his body. This actually gave Xiao Xian a sense of familiarity that he had not seen for a long time. Some familiar scenes also flashed through his mind. A terrifying aura erupted crazily on him. At this moment, Xiao Xian felt an unprecedented sense of relief in his body and mind. It's like searching for his past. At this moment, a purple light suddenly erupted from his body. This is the beam of light that only quasi-emperors will appear. The purer the color, the more advanced the spiritual power. There was originally only a ray of purple light, but suddenly it turned into a pillar of light and shot up into the sky. Then it turned into a stream of light and entered Xiao Xian's body. Immediately afterwards, Xiao Xian's cave world also changed at this time. A platform slowly appeared behind him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 166. On top of the Taoist platform is a Tathagata Buddha statue that inspires piety in countless people. But with the continuous integration of purple light pillars, the Tathagata Buddha statue gradually turned into the Pangadharma. The cave world behind him also seemed like a chaotic world that had not yet been opened up. At Xiao Xian's feet, it is the ladder that every realm he breaks through turns into. On every step are the people and things that I fear most. When countless people are watching this scene, the stairs transformed by the realm suddenly shattered. Gradually it turned into colorful clouds and merged into the clouds at Xiao Xian's feet. This scene directly impacted the hearts of all onlookers. He has nothing to fear? Even the titled emperor will have what he fears most. But he didn't. This also means that he has no weaknesses. Until the screen disappears, no one has recovered from the scene. After the quasi-emperor, there is the true fairyland, which is also the real immortal. Is this the strength of a truly strong man? This is the first time I have seen it in all my years. With one finger, he destroyed the phantom of Jialan Changlong, not even the 9 dragon shackles and cage. The 9 dragon shackles cage is the nightmare of all Taoist realms. Last time, even the young emperor of the demon clan was trapped by it, but now the master of Sword Valley can actually smash it. Although it is renewable, it still takes hundreds of thousands of years. This also means that those who break through to the Daotai realm next time will not have to face the shackles of the 9 dragons. Not necessarily. After all, it's not easy to break through the Daotai realm. I don't know who is more powerful, the Sword Valley Master or the Demon Clan Young Emperor. You will know when they fight each other in the future, but the Master of the Sword Valley has gained a lot of fame. For a moment, everyone was shocked by Xiao Xian's strength. However, Xiao Xian returned directly to Wenjian Valley. At this time, he had arrived at the first level of the quasi-emperor in the deotai realm. And the divine beasts bound to him have also broken through to the first level. With the continuous breakthrough and improvement of cultivation realm, their combat effectiveness is also becoming more powerful, and their improvement speed is faster than before. Then he pulled out his details to check. Name, Xiao Xian. Identity, Master of Wenjian Valley, head of Kangmang Xiao family. Cultivation realm, Daotai realm, Quasi-Emperor first level. Magic weapon, unparalleled divine weapon Waning Moon Sword. Martial skills, Tianyu Xianfeng sword technique. After completing the practice, you can reach the top of the immortal path, powerful and dragonless. After completing the practice, you can cut through the void with the sword. 9-turn golden body, 4th level peak, sun fire, thunder domain. Qualifications, created dragon blood battle body, chaotic pupils, mixed physique. Exotic treasures, jade pendant and ring of the head of the family. Family buildings, Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, Family Residence, 10,000 Swords Grotto, 1000 Buddha Hall, Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, Wanzang Medicine Peak, and Family Ancestral Tombs. Supernatural powers, Bei's Hang, Sword Domain, Poji, Power Breaking 10,000s, Aurora, Invincibility, Extreme Speed, Critical Hit. Looking at his detailed information, Xiao Xian couldn't help but curled his lips. He was even happier when he saw the exchange point at the bottom. It made him feel like an old landowner. But he soon gave up the idea. After all, the most capital is the system. He can give you countless reasons to deduct your redemption points. And you don't have any reason to refute it? At this moment, the system beep sounded. Xiao Xian reflexively looked at his exchange point. Ding, today's sign-in has been enabled, do you want to sign in now? Sign in. Ding, you signed in successfully and received a reward of 8 million redemption points. Ding, the 100,000-year large-scale sign-in task has been completed, do you want to receive the reward? This is the day I have been waiting for. Xiao Xian said without hesitation, get it? Hearing this, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. 100,000 years is really not easy. Although you can receive rewards and other things every day. But it's no different than being trapped here. But now he's free. However, the system has released a new task at this time. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the main mission. The mission to kill the immortal has been completed, the reward exchange points are 35 million, and the family's luck has quadrupled. Additional reward is a legendary genius. Looking at the rewards given by the system, Xiao Xian was very satisfied. Including the previous exchange points, he has a total of 50 million exchange points on hand. Then he looked at the several mythical beasts on the side. You continue to sit here, I'll go to the Xiao family. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Xian rose into the air, heading towards the Xiao family. At the same time, the Xiao family has also undergone tremendous changes. After Xiao Xian completed the 100,000-year sign-in mission, the family rewarded him with 4 times the luck. All the talented disciples of the Xiao family also showed signs of breakthrough. Some geniuses who were originally stuck at the bottleneck even broke through on the spot. Although the Xiao family has been shrinking its strength, there are not as many children in the family as there are in other clans. But in terms of strength, the Xiao family is no worse than other forces. Xiao Tianyun and others were also at the moment when the luck of the system reward arrived. The momentum in his body couldn't help but burst out. Same moment. 8th Elder Ancestor, this is where the Xiao family is stationed. They were the ones who killed Long Ao Tianzun. No one noticed that the pure-blood Black Dragon clan appeared on the Xiao family's base. As a descendant of Long Ao. At this time, his eyes looking towards the Xiao family were filled with hatred. The eighth elder's eyes revealed an endless look of indifference. Just a few supreme beings dare to kill my juniors. You really don't know the heavens and the earth. Die. I saw his palm facing up, and an invisible Taoist charm instantly locked the Xiao family's residence. As his palms continued to rise, the Xiao family's residence was also constantly being destroyed and razed. And this Taoist charm also brought an irresistible sense of oppression to everyone in the Xiao family's residence. This is. Be prepared. Emergency preparedness. As soon as everyone in the Xiao family felt the oppression, they sounded the alarm. However, they didn't wait until they took precautions. The coercion of the Taoist realm powerhouse made it impossible for them to resist. The Xiao family's residence keeps rising into space. It attracted the attention of countless forces. This is a Taoist realm method. Who did the Xiao family offend? He actually let a powerful man from the Dao Tai realm take action himself. The Xiao family is in doom this time. Dao Tai realm exists as a king. It has the ability to peel off the connection between a force and the local star field. Although they can destroy a family or even a star with just a raise of their hands. But that will arouse the disgust of heavenly Dao, and thus be suppressed by heavenly Dao. Therefore, throwing the opponent into space is an excellent choice for all Taoist realm experts. As the Xiao family's residence continues to rise, the figure of the eighth elder also slowly appeared in front of everyone in the Xiao family. At this moment, he couldn't help but burst out the terrifying aura in his body. It caused waves of shaking in the void. The strong emperor, Xiao Tianyun and others' pupils narrowed. His expression also became serious at this moment. After the eighth elder saw the expressions of Xiao Tianyun and others, there were a few faint smiles on his face. Everyone in the Xiao family felt a sense of contempt and insignificance. You alone dare to kill my son Long Ao, the eighth elder's indifferent voice echoed through the air. The endless quasi-emperor's momentum continues to riot in the void. The quasi-emperor domain controls the entire Xiao family residence. The rioting quasi-emperor spirit continued to rage in the Xiao family residence. Seeing everyone in the Xiao family unable to resist his pressure, the eighth elder couldn't help but smile. Then he pointed in the air. An ultimate stream of light penetrated the void. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 167. Breaking through the air current, he continued towards the Xiao family's residence. Wherever the stream of light passed, the airflow stopped and the void shattered. The starfield imprisonments were also broken. Xiao Tingyun and others felt an unprecedented sense of oppression. The great emperor's power is truly terrifying. This was the first time they encountered the emperor's bombardment. But it is also a fatal blow. In front of the emperor, even if they are the most talented people in the world, he has no ability to resist. Xiao Tianyun threw the scroll in his hand directly into the air. Suddenly, the scroll with Xiao Xian's back unfolded. A terrifying sword energy burst out from it instantly. This scene also attracted the attention of onlookers. The scene where this scroll killed Tianzun Long Ao last time is still vivid in my mind. This time, I don't know if this picture scroll has the ability to compete with the emperor. The eighth elder glanced indifferently, and then sneered. With half the strength of a quasi-emperor, you dare to do anything in front of me. After saying that, he waved his hand, and the scroll was held in his hand. Without waiting for everyone to react, the scroll was crushed to pieces by him. Debris is flying in the air. The onlookers around saw this scene. I just felt a sense of powerlessness arise spontaneously. Sure enough, in front of the great emperor, the half-step quasi-emperor was no match for him. It means that the owner of the scroll is personally present. It is impossible to escape death, let alone a painting. In the world of the heavens, the only one who can defeat the great emperor is the great emperor. Half-step quasi-emperor? No matter how talented you are, it's not enough. At the moment when the stream of light was about to fall on the Xiao family's residence, Xiao family buildings such as the library, scripture collection pavilion, and enlightenment room in the Xiao family residence, they all emitted rays of light at this moment. Then they converged together to form a huge beam of light. All of a sudden, the power of that finger was blocked by this beam of light. Interesting. Seeing this, the eighth elder raised his lips and smiled with interest. He was surprised that the Xiao family could fight back. Instead, the young man next to her took a step forward and whispered in her ear. Ancestor, Long Ao Tianzun told me that the Xiao family has only been in the world for 100,000 years. The ability to develop to this point depends on the treasures in the Xiao family's residence. Oh, I got it. As for Long Ao coveting the Xiao family's treasure, he didn't think anything was wrong. After all, in this world of the weak and the strong, it is your luck to have a treasure and be able to protect it. That is your strength. The most precious treasure is naturally found by those who are capable. I would like to see what kind of treasure it is that can even withstand my attacks. The eighth elder then sent out his spiritual thoughts and headed towards the Xiao family's residence to investigate. Under the exploration of the emperor's spiritual thoughts, no treasure can be hidden. However, his spiritual thoughts just landed over the Xiao family's residence. The eighth elder felt a pressure and locked him instantly. As long as his spiritual thoughts take another step forward, what awaits him is death. All of a sudden, a breath of ancient and indifferent Tao constantly impacted his mind. Immediately afterwards, the aura of Tao was in his stunned eyes. A huge eye slowly formed. There was a suffocating ancient aura in those eyes. The place it looked at seemed to be destroyed. The eighth elder's body couldn't help but shudder. The moment he regained his consciousness, the young man in white clothes appeared at the Xiao family residence at some unknown time. When he came back to his senses, he realized that the huge eye just now was that of the man in white. Don't wait for his reaction. The man in white looked in the direction of the eighth elder. At this moment, the eighth elder's heart trembled. The divine thought he had before he could take it back was actually destroyed. After a brief dizziness, the eighth elder snorted coldly and looked in Xiao Xian's direction. It's nothing if the divine mind is destroyed. But he has never been treated like this before. At this moment, his anger was raging like never before. Xiao Tianyun and others who were stationed at the Xiao family also noticed something was wrong outside. As they looked toward the door, I found a young man dressed in white standing at the door. Xiao Tianyun and others recognized Xiao Xian at a glance. Uncle Xian. Master. Everyone spoke in unison, feeling even more delighted. My originally tense heart was extremely relaxed. In their hearts, Xiao Xian is a reassurance. As long as he is here, there is nothing that cannot be solved. The eighth elder also noticed subtle changes in the Xiao family. Although the opponent is a quasi-emperor, his strength cannot be underestimated. In other words, anyone who can break through the Taoist realm is not someone to be trifled with. Therefore, he looked at Xiao Xian with a solemn expression. Who are you? Xiao Xian said calmly. The eighth elder searched carefully in his mind, but could not find anything about Xiao Xian. Never heard of it? Xiao Xian was not angry and smiled calmly. It doesn't matter, it's your honor to be able to hear my name before you die. As soon as these words came out, the whole star became quiet. Xiao Xian is the first person who can speak like this in front of the eighth elder. Even the eighth elder himself was slightly stunned, obviously shocked by Xiao Xian's words. Then he looked up to the sky and laughed a few times, and looked at Xiao Xian with a serious look. Just you? Since I proclaimed myself emperor, and for thousands of years across the heavens, no one has ever claimed that they can kill me. You are the first to utter such arrogant words. But since you opened this mouth, naturally, I will give you this opportunity. Today, I will stand here and give you the chance to kill. Then he took a slight step, shoulder width apart. The momentum around him also softened at this moment. But the murderous intent is even worse than before. Xiao Xian did not give in, and took a step forward. The endless Daoyun aura continued to riot in the void. In that case, just wait. A terrifying sword force instantly broke through the void. Endless spiritual energy attached to the long sword, driving the airflow directly towards the Eighth Elder. Interesting, I think you have some strength. The Eighth Elder raised his eyebrows, obviously not taking Xiao Xian's move seriously. Then he pointed a finger. Endless black fireworks burned in the void. It turned into a long black flame dragon, rushed into the sky, and headed towards Xiao Xian. The two collide. The surrounding stars continued to explode, and cracks were torn out of the void. Next, it's time for me to take action. The boundless airflow instantly turned into reality. Like gurgling water, it contains endless Taoist charm. At the moment of impact airflow, it turned into countless long black dragons, faintly burning with flames. This moment, everyone looked at Xiao Xian with great anticipation. I don't know what moves he will use to defeat this attack. The Emperor's strike has the power to destroy the world. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 168. Facing this blow, Xiao Xian looked calm. The realm of heaven and earth is locked, and the endless golden halo continues to spread in the sea of stars. A terrifying Tao aura burst out directly. The world is upside down. As Xiao Xian's plain voice sounded, countless light pillars instantly erupted in the sea of stars. Countless streams of light continued to rise in the sea of stars, exploding with astonishing lethality. Streams of light, swirling like a whirlwind, causing the void to tremble. His brows narrowed, and the rotating light suddenly stopped. Sizzle. All of a sudden, the void barrier was torn apart. Endless colorful beams of light shot up into the sky at this moment. Countless powers of void laws continue to explode. The power of Xiao Xian's glance actually made the power of the void law his own weapon. This glance is powerful enough to create new creatures. The surrounding stars were destroyed by this power of void law. Countless stars exploded in the sea of stars. The brilliant colors are terrifying. Crane Moon Sword, come out. With the waning moon sword in hand, the power of the void law is absorbed into his own sword power. A stream of Tao Yun Qi carrying the power of the void law instantly headed towards the Eighth Elder. The Dragon Clan is invincible in close combat. Even the Quasi-Emperor can only die. The Eighth Elder's cold and ruthless voice spread across the sea of stars. The surrounding stars exploded in pieces at this moment. Above the void, two figures, one black and one white, were intertwined. A polar situation of black and white has formed, like a green dragon and a white tiger that are constantly fighting. The stars in the sea of stars are constantly being shattered by the aftermath. Countless creatures looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. Xiao Xian and the Eighth Elder are like the creators of the world. What a terrifying strength! Who is this man in white? He can actually be inseparable from the 8 elders of the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan. No, from a formal point of view, the man in white will have the upper hand. The original young demon emperor was already a legendary figure, but I never thought that the man in white would be as good as him. No, since the man in white is able to use the power of the law of the void, it proves that this man is anything but ordinary. If he doesn't die this time, he will definitely become a quasi-immortal in the future. Wow! As soon as these words came out, countless people immediately exclaimed. They have lived for millions of years and have never seen an emperor who can use the power of law. In a series of sighing voices. As a descendant of Long Ao, Yi Do was extremely nervous at the moment. even if he is hundreds of millions of kilometers away. The eighth elder ancestor will definitely defeat Xiaoxian. He will definitely avenge his father. Yi Da's expression was extremely nervous at this moment. He respects Long Ao as his father from the bottom of his heart. Although Long Ao valued him because of his ancestral bloodline. But he also had to admit that it was precisely because of Long Ao's respect. Only then will everything go smoothly for him from birth to now. Originally, he could go on smoothly for the rest of his life. But because of the appearance of the Xiao family, the peaceful life was broken. As soon as Long Ao died, the dragon clan as a human race also collapsed. He, the proud man of heaven, also fell into the dust and became the most ordinary human being. Even though he has ancestral blood in his body. To the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan, this is nothing at all. It is precisely because of this that Yuda thought of going to seek help from the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan. But he didn't expect that when a Xiao family came out, another Xiaoxian came out. The appearance of the Xiao family allowed Xiaoxian to kill Long Ao. Now it is because of Xiaoxian's appearance that the ancestor is prevented from destroying the Xiao family. Thinking of this, Yi Da's hatred for the Xiao family and Xiaoxian became even deeper. At this time, the battle between Xiaoxian and the eighth elder had also entered a fierce stage. And have the upper hand in this battle. Qinkan Sword Wei. 99 returned to 1. All of a sudden, the waning moon sword emitted a wild sword light, and the sword body continued to grow larger and longer. The golden radiance and wild rice radiance correspond together. All the light in the sea of stars also turned into dots of starlight and merged into it. Jeju returns to 1, which is how Tao gives rise to all things in the world. All things in the world must return to the Tao and accept the provisions of the Tao and the meaning of the covenant. It is precisely because of this that all the starlight in the sea of stars will be integrated into the sword. The extreme flow of sword light turned the entire sea of stars into white light. The stars integrated into the waning moon sword seem to be returning to the starting point. The feeling of this sword actually makes people feel like everything is returning to its true nature. This sword seems to be able to cut off everything. When the eighth elder saw this scene, he couldn't help but show an incredulous look. He didn't expect that Xiaoxian still had a trump card. Even he had to use all his strength to resist this blow. The next moment, he burst out with the aura of the great emperor. Blocked the absorption and transformation of the waning moon sword. This blow caused the void to tremble continuously and make a shattering sound. At this moment, all the bloodlines of the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan were gathering spiritual power for the eighth elder. The collision of the two spiritual powers caused all the stars to be involved. Even the ancient stars were affected by it and kept making explosion sounds. Under the two blasts, the entire star sea shook. The aftermath was not over, and the smaller stars turned into dust. The endless terrifying power of the void law continues to swallow the surrounding stars. The eighth elder couldn't resist this blow even with all his strength. The body was continuously forced back, and there were bursts of explosions. Then it hit an ancient star. As the ancient stars exploded, the eighth elder's body also experienced 3 explosions. In an instant, he turned into a bloody man, and even a section of his tail was broken off. There was a dark brown blood stain hanging from the corner of his mouth. The eighth elder clutched his chest in horror, with a look of deep horror in his eyes. Xiaoxian's cold eyes made him see death. He had never been so afraid of death. His heart was beating crazily. Do you know that I am a pure-blooded black dragon? If you kill me, you won't be afraid of retaliation. The fear of death made him move out of his backstage. However, how could Xiaoxian be afraid of his threat? From the Purple Forest sect at the beginning to the Demon Clan later on, when had he ever been afraid of threats? Why don't I dare to kill you? The next moment, the waning moon sword instantly condensed into a long sword. Under the extreme sword light, a 6-clawed dragon claw was thrown into the void. Dark brown blood sprayed into the sea of stars, and was swallowed by the void in the blink of an eye. Head of the clan, save me. At the moment when the waning moon sword was about to chop off the 8th elder's head, he looked up to the sky and screamed for help. As the cry for help rang out, shaking sounds continued to come from the void. Then cracks appeared, and a pair of old hands stretched out. The void was torn into a huge opening, and a long river of time and space appeared in the sea of stars. The next moment, an invisible sense of oppression burst out from it. Immediately afterwards, an old man wearing a green shirt stepped out of the long river of time and space. The old man's body erupted with endless terrifying aura, making people feel like their souls were imprisoned just by looking at him. The old man's eyes were slowly looking towards Xiaoxian. The sight is extremely plain, but there is an irresistible sense of oppression. In an instant, the stars stopped exploding, and the power of the void law returned to its original position. The waning moon sword that was originally intended to kill the 8th elder was frozen in place at this moment. At this moment, it seems like time has stood still. The onlookers all around immediately stared at this with wide eyes. At this moment, their hearts were extremely shocked and their eyes looked horrified. This is an ability that only a titled emperor can have. He is actually a titled emperor. The leader of the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan is the titled emperor. It's no wonder that the 8th elder would ask him for help. In front of the titled emperor, all quasi-emperors are just tiny ants. Yes, the titled emperor is a godlike existence below the level of quasi-immortal. Only quasi-immortals can subdue them. But I don't know whether immortals exist or not. After all, it's just an ancient legend, and no one has ever truly set foot in the quasi-immortal realm. Everyone discussed the scene with great horror. The old man looked at Xiaoxian indifferently, and with just one glance, time stopped flowing around him. Even if it was just an indifferent glance, the warning contained in it would cut Xiaoxian into pieces. And this is just a shadow of the other party. If the true body had come, Xiaoxian would have turned into a pile of dust at this moment. However, not only was he not afraid of this look, but he also looked at him. This glance does not bring any pressure to him, nor does it even make him fearful. This also caught the old man's attention, and he took a deep look at Xiaoxian. Shuiying then raised his hand and pulled the 8th elder's body up. Then disappeared into the long river of time and space. After he left, the void returned to calm. The stars continue to explode, and time gradually flows. Only the slowly healing river of time and space can be evidence of the other party's appearance. Until the old man's figure completely disappeared from everyone's eyes. At that time, the flow speed of the long river in space returned to its original state. The waning moon sword, which was fixed in the sea of stars, seemed to be no longer imprisoned. The sword moved quickly towards the void. Boom! In just an instant, the healing void was shattered by this powerful sword energy. The entire void shook as a result, and the power of the void law could not help but swallow up the surrounding stars. Xiaoxian looked coldly at the other person's disappearing figure, his expression too calm to be true. Although the other party just gave him a look, the warning inside was already serious enough. But he is not afraid, the titled emperor is strong. But that doesn't mean he can't beat him. In terms of cultivation level, he is not as good as the other party. But in terms of strength, he is no match. Then he turned around and looked at the Xiao family's residence in the Sea of Stars. He slowly raised his hand and pressed it down. Boom! The Xiao family station slowly landed towards its original position. Then Xiaoxian walked into the sight of everyone in the Xiao family. As Xiaoxian's figure disappeared, the surrounding creatures also recovered from the shock. Waves of exclamations and surprised looks came one after another. Although the quasi-emperor is powerful, the great emperor is even better. However, Xiaoxian, as a quasi-emperor, was able to defeat the great emperor. If it hadn't been for the appearance of the titled emperor, the opponent would have died at the hands of the quasi-emperor. This is an unprecedented precedent. It was this battle that made Xiao Xian's name resound throughout the heavens and even other star regions. With the speed of intelligence in the world, it won't be long before Xiao Xian becomes a well-known figure in the world. In Wenjian Valley, he had not cared about the secular world for 100,000 years, but he shocked everyone as soon as he made a move. At the same time, as a descendant of Long Ao, Yuda is currently heading to a hidden mountain range. And he knelt down in front of a small grave that was only as high as a mound, crying in pain. Father, a child is useless. Even if we invite the eighth elder, we can't help you get revenge. The child is unwilling. You died so unjustly. That Xiao Xian was even more hateful. At this moment, Yida was blinded by hatred, and the hatred in his eyes seemed to burst out. Long Ao's flesh and blood body was beaten to pieces by Xiao Xian at that time. Yida could only find some of his clothes to bury here. It can be regarded as a memorial to him. Originally, the eighth elder was Yida's grandfather, so he could directly call him grandfather. But among the heavens, many powerful people will leave their heirs. Especially the pure-blooded Black Dragon clan. Therefore, there is a rule that is not recognized but acquiesced among the powerful ones. All the hybrid children outside, except his own father. No one else can be called his relatives, even if they are direct blood. This is also convenient for them to solve their own troubles. This will prevent some people from acting in their own name. At this time, Yida thought of the humiliation he had suffered in the pure-blood Black Dragon clan, and felt even more aggrieved. The humiliation was endured, but the revenge for killing his father was not avenged. How could he not hate this? How can one not hate the Xiao family and Xiao Xian? Then he stood up and looked at Long Ao's tomb with a painful expression. He burst into tears and said, "If I can't avenge you, I am not worthy of being a son of man. I am not worthy of being your child." After that, he took out the dagger from his body. Lifting up a corner of his robe, he raised the knife and dropped it. The corner of the robe was cut off, and then he released a drop of blood. Contain both in a small cabinet and bury them together. Then he took 3 steps back and kowtowed 3 times to Long Ao's tomb. His face was full of pain and sorrow. "Father, how powerful the Xiao family is, how terrifying Xiao Xian is. You know better than me. Therefore, today the child cuts off his father-son relationship with you. I will definitely avenge this feud for you in my next life. In this life, let the child live well. The child also wants to leave a bloodline for you. If you were alive, you would understand your children." After saying that, Yuda stood up directly and left without looking back. There is no longer the sorrowful look on his face. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 169. Xiao Xian returned to the Xiao family's residence, put his hands behind his back, and looked at the Xiao family with a smile. After not seeing each other for 100,000 years, many new faces appeared in the Xiao family. Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Jiangzin, Xiao Zhangtian, and the other 9 elders looked at each other. There was deep excitement in his eyes, and then he knelt down and worshipped on the ground. "Uncle Xian. Master." Seeing this, Xiao Xian gave him a hand and said, "Everyone, get up. We haven't seen each other for 100,000 years, so there is no need to pay such a big gift." Except for Xiao Yi, and others, they were all influenced by their father and uncle. Know something about Xiao Xian, one of the younger generation of the Xiao family. In addition to hearing and seeing the legendary deeds of Xiao Xian, there is no other understanding. Therefore, everyone was very curious when they saw Xiao Xian appear. Everyone stretched their heads and looked over. although Xiao Xian in front of him is very young. But the aura on the other side was enough to crush everyone. It's exactly the same as on the scroll. Xiao Xian looked around and found no other geniuses. So he looked at Xiao Tianyun with a little doubt. Why aren't Qing Yun, Xiao Yan, and Xiao Yanyao here? Could it be that they haven't found each other yet? Xiao Tianyun smiled bitterly when he heard this. Uncle Xian, it's not that we haven't found each other, it's that they are being hunted. Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows upon hearing this, with a hint of sullenness between his eyebrows. Sister Qingyun is the reincarnated empress, and many of her enemies are still alive today, so she is hunted down by her enemies. And Nanming Wangting was in the rising period, so she took Nanming Wangting directly to practice in secret. Except for a brief meeting with her at the beginning, we never saw her again for 100,000 years. Xiao Yanyao offended many enemies because of his special physique. After entering the heavens, we used special contact information to learn the locations of both parties. After that, we met briefly and never contacted him again. I am afraid that he has lived an extremely difficult life in the past 100,000 years. If Xiao Yan and Gu Qinjiao hadn't been practicing in seclusion because of the demon clan demon son, the young emperor. In addition, if the other party wants to survive, he will probably be killed by the demon clan long ago. Even so, it is very difficult for the two of them to avoid the pursuit of the demons. As for Emperor Murongyi, over the years, I have never stopped looking for him. But there has been no news. I don't know whether he is dead or alive. Uncle Xian, it was my dereliction of duty. You blame me for not taking good care of them. After Xiao Tianyun said this, he knelt on the ground and kowtowed to apologize. During these 100,000 years, the Xiao family's growth rate has been coveted by many forces. But they had no way to fight back, and they could only watch their own people wandering outside. In the final analysis, my strength and power are not strong enough. Thinking of this, Xiao Tianyun hated it even more. I hate that I am not strong enough, and I hate that I cannot let everyone in the family have no worries like Uncle Xian. Xiao Xian knew how Xiao Tianyun was feeling, but he was afraid that he would be stuck in self-blame all day long in the past 100,000 years. He waved his hand and then helped him up. Uncle Xian can't help you. You don't need to blame yourself. You have suffered for 100,000 years. Now that Uncle Xian is back, all the difficulties facing the Xiao family will be solved. There is no need to worry about any force anymore. You just need to recall them and leave with me. When Xiao Tianyun heard this, he nodded immediately. Then the news was sent to several people outside. 300 years later. Xiao Qingyun is back, but she only has Xiao Ziao with her. The Nanming Holy Dynasty continues to lurk. 100,000 years have passed, and Xiao Ziao's cultivation level has also broken through to the realm of the God Emperor. But when she saw Xiao Xian for the first time, she felt a sense of awe in her heart. As her strength continued to improve, she gradually understood the unbridgeable gap between herself and Xiao Xian. But she also thanked Xiao Xian for sending her to Xiao Qingyun. Although these years are due to the secluded practice of the Nanming Holy Dynasty. As a result, her cultivation speed became very slow. But without Xiao Xian's recommendation, I'm afraid she would have hurriedly married and had children, and her whole life would have passed. Not to mention becoming Xiao Qingyun's confidant. 30 years later, Xiao Yanyao also returned to the Xiao family's residence. Although his flirtatious talk continued, his brows were already full of vicissitudes of life. This shows how difficult life has been in just 100,000 years. The Emperor's holy body can help him practice faster, but when his strength is not enough, the Emperor's holy body will also bring him the most deadly enemy. In the next 20 years, Xiao Yan and Gu Qinjiao also returned to the Xiao family. Now the strength of the two is not much different from Xiao Tianyun. The two of them looked no better than Xiao Yanyao, and their lives were not going to be easy either. Why hasn't Emperor Murongyi come back yet? When Xiao Tianyuan sent the message, the other party responded to him. It's just that after so many years, why hasn't he appeared yet? When Xiao Qingyuan and other geniuses heard this, they all frowned. Only Xiao Xian showed a faint smile. Emperor Murongyi has always been in the Xiao family and has never left. As soon as these words came out, it instantly caused everyone in the Xiao family to express surprise. Then Xiao Xian looked at Xiao Junlin, who had been cleaning and looked like a servant. How long are you going to hide? It's time to show up. Xiao Junlin paused, and then a golden glow flashed across his body. The next moment, Xiao Junlin's true appearance appeared. Incarnation outside the body. Sun Wukong's magic of transformation. Everyone in the Xiao family exclaimed that Sun Wukong's transformation skills were extremely shocking. After Xiao Junlin appeared, he saluted Xiao Xian with a helpless smile on his face. I thought I had hidden myself well, but I never thought that the head of the family would recognize him at a glance. Xiao Xian smiled lightly. You have been by my side for so many years, how could it be in vain? This day, Xiao Xian appeared above the Xiao family residence and waved his hand. Cover the entire Xiao family residence in the palm of your hand, and then the Xiao family residence gradually turns into a mini size. Gradually it rose into the air, and then fell into Xiao Xian's hands. Everyone in the Xiao family looked at the scene with alert expressions. When they saw Xiao Xian's face, they felt relieved. As the Xiao family's residence continued to rise into the sky, it attracted the attention of surrounding forces. This seems to be the Xiao family's residence. It is about to be relocated. It's actually a quasi-emperor. I didn't expect that the Xiao family would actually have a quasi-emperor. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 170. Fortunately, the Xiao family has moved away, otherwise we wouldn't be able to stay here long. Xiao Xian did all this with an indifferent expression, not caring at all about the comments around him. With the relocation of the Xiao family's residence, there was also a strong commotion in the star field. The family residence is most vulnerable to destruction during the migration process. But those who can move the family's residence must be strong at the quasi-emperor level. Therefore, the relocation of the Xiao family's residence has attracted the attention of countless forces. But no one dared to come forward and disturb. Then the Xiao family's residence appeared in the sky above Wenjian Valley. Xiao Xian found an open space, and then slowly put down the Xiao family's station. Although this is an open space, this area is larger than any state in the vast world. As for the entrance to Wenjian Valley, I don't know when it changed. On the huge mountain gate, the word Xiao family suddenly appeared. As soon as the Xiao family stationed on the ground, everyone in the Xiao family felt this strong spiritual energy. In the past, Wenjian Valley was regarded as the back mountain of the Xiao family, and non-children of the Xiao family could not enter. At this moment, a mechanical sound came from Xiao Xian's mind. Ding! The top 10 geniuses all returned to their positions, and the host once again took over the position of head of the Xiao family. I have met the promotion conditions and successfully promoted to a lower-level wealthy family. The reward has been distributed. Do you want to claim it? Xiao Xian was stunned when he heard this. In the heavens, families are divided into low-level wealthy families, middle-level powerful families, high-level noble families, and top-level holy families. Besides, others are inferior. A low-level wealthy family needs to be the most powerful force in one star. A strong mid-level clan not only needs to have at least 3 ancient stars, but also needs a full luck bonus. And there is at least one Deotai level person in charge, otherwise he will not be able to advance. A high-grade noble must not only have stars in the 10 directions, but also a series of star fields. Not only that, its strength and influence must be very famous, and it must have an emperor sitting in charge. Otherwise, it will not be recognized by other forces if it is forcibly promoted. Not only cannot it be upgraded, but it will also be annexed by other forces in the world. As for the top saints, one was added under these prerequisites. You must have your own family. Even Dadi is just a high-level power within the family. In addition, there must be a titled emperor. Even the quasi-immortal was in charge, and he was recognized just now. Originally there was another level clan above this. It's just that it's been too long, and the quasi-immortal drinking emperor has disappeared. That level of race also disappeared. If the family is powerful enough, it can become the legendary supreme royal court. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian directly chose to receive it. Ding, the family has been promoted to a low-level wealthy family, and the host's cultivation level has been promoted to the third level of quasi-emperor. Sutra Collection Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, Wanjian Cave, Demon Locking Tower, Trial Tower. The Dedication Room, Enlightenment Monument, Ancestral Tombs, Library, and Family Residence have all been upgraded to the spiritual level. Reward 4 million redemption points and a family legendary genius. Obtain 10 drops of Tianling water. Obtain 3 holy spiritual veins, various holy seeds 100 units, holy mineral veins 10, top holy seeds * 100 units. Family buildings, all buildings in the family unlock spirituality, and on the original basis. After the family's children break through, they can receive generous rewards and obtain corresponding magic weapons. Zhangjing Pavilion Spirituality, on the original basis, increase the weight of martial arts and enhance the effects of martial arts. The hidden talent of the clan members increased by 50%, and the chance of comprehending the artistic conception increased by 50%. The king level and king grade treasures are automatically refreshed every year, and the emperor level and lower grade treasures are refreshed every half month. One holy grade treasure technique is automatically refreshed every year, and one holy grade lower grade treasure technique is automatically refreshed every 10 years. Enlightenment Room Spirituality, on the original basis, each layer of spiritual energy turns into spiritual mist. As the level increases, the understanding of the family members also increases. When the 7th floor is turned on, the time flow rate is 1 to 2, and when the 8th floor is turned on, the time flow rate is 1 to 4. The spirituality of the head of the family's jade pendant, the birth of a new baby in the family will lead to an increase in top quality qualifications. The birth of a newborn has the best qualifications, which can be integrated with the spiritual veins and family residence, and can help the host to improve to a greater realm. Family resident spirituality, automatically expands spiritual veins, generate spiritual fields, give birth to high-grade spiritual veins, and increase spiritual energy by 90%. Every once in a while, a spiritual energy tide will erupt, accompanied by spiritual mist and random rewards. Spirituality of 10,000 Swords Cave, contains 10,000 swords in the world. The landing of divine weapons is increased by 50%, and you can obtain your own divine weapons. Enlightenment Monument Spirituality, the chance of enlightenment for clan members is increased according to the opponent's talent. The artistic conception can be improved to obtain holy skills. Can be superimposed with the Enlightenment Room to add attributes, only for family members. Monster Locking Tower Spirituality, randomly release tasks, most of which are to capture monsters, evil spirits, and magic cultivators. Lock it in the Demon Locking Tower and issue rewards according to the capture level. At the same time, the host can also obtain the Destiny of Heaven, which can be converted into exchange points to suppress the Emperor. Spirituality of Ancestral Graves, if the children of the family are buried in them, their luck will be fed back to the family during their lifetime. There are passive critical luck rewards, and the disciples who are fed back will also receive soul rewards. Library Spirituality, all recognized geniuses will have an extra chance to enter again. And you can get passive help from the system. Gain passive escape ability at critical moments. Tianling Shui, the top spiritual water in the world, the powerful emperor can break through the title of emperor by taking it. Note, you can only take 1 drop of Tianling water at a time. Xiao Xian only felt a sense of relief all over his body, and his whole body seemed to be floating. In an instant, his cultivation realm improved by 3 small realms. Feeling the changes on his body, Xiao Xian nodded with satisfaction. Especially the 4 million redemption points this time, plus the previous redemption points. It's enough for him to change to a secret realm with extremely powerful combat power. 100,000 years have passed since the last time the secret realm was explored. It was also time to open the next secret realm, which he had already considered before. Therefore, Xiao Xian directly set his sights on his favorite secret realm. Then with a wave of his hand, he redeemed the secret realm, and the next step was to open the family dragon and tiger list. Choose a suitable family member to explore the secret realm. This time, the number of people exploring the secret realm doubled. But compared with other family forces, it is just a drop in the bucket. In addition, the opportunities in the secret realm require a certain amount of luck to obtain. Even the resources of the Xiao family are open and transparent. Secret realm exploration, he reset it. For the family members who enter the secret realm, all actions will be done in a transparent manner. Live broadcast in the Xiao family for other children to watch in order to inspire other children. After the dragon and tiger ranking competition, 3,000 people were selected. Xiao Xian then took these 3,000 people to the back mountain of the Xiao family. With a wave of Xiao Xian's hand, the scene in front of him changed instantly.